Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, here for another exciting episode of TMG Takes the Field, the weekly show where we talk about sports. We did take off last week. It happens. Decided to spend Christmas with family. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas break, your Christmas day, and just the overall holiday season. But now that that's over, and it's an overrated holiday today and tomorrow, we're back. College football. It's been a bunch of bowls. Like how many bowls? Not enough. That's how many. Had some happen over the past couple weeks. The Bucked Up LA Bowl happened on December 13th. Washington beat Boise State 38-10. Then we had on today the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Duke beat Arizona State 42-39. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, Utah beat Nebraska 44-22. Relia Quest Bowl, Iowa beat Vanderbilt 34-27. And then the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Texas beat Michigan 41-27. And you think the company that sponsors the Citrus Bowl should be like orange themed, right? Not the color. The Cheez-It just doesn't make any sense. Going on right now, we do have our first quarterfinal game in the college football playoff, Miami and Ohio State. It's the Cotton Bowl because they lumped those bowl games in. And right now, Miami is winning 17-7. And then I'm not seeing it on here. Oh, there we go. Pop-Tarts Bowl did happen. BYU beat Georgia Tech 25-21. That was a joy. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Virginia beat Missouri 13-7. The Kinder's Texas Bowl, Houston beat LSU 38-35. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl, North Texas beat San Diego State 49-47. The Go Bowling Military Bowl, East Carolina beat Pittsburgh 23-17. The Baby Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Penn State beat Clemson 22-10. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl, Army beat UConn 41-16. The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, featuring Snoop Dogg himself, Fresno State beat Miami of Ohio 18-3. The J-Lab Birmingham Bowl, Georgia Southern beat Appalachian State 29-10. The Valero Alamo Bowl, TCU beat USC 30-27 in overtime. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, Louisiana Tech beat Coastal Carolina 23-14. The Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, Illinois beat Tennessee 30-28. And I think that's all the bowls that have happened so far. Again, a lot more happening here today and tomorrow. Kind of the New Year's Eve, 6 bowl games going crazy. So we'll talk about those next week. But for the remainder of our time together, it's everyone's favorite starch, Tato. Tato, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Football has been fantastic to me this season. The Bears are doing better than their rosiest of colored glasses could have imagined. And I got a fantasy championship. We'll see if I lock up another one next week. So life's good there. Feeling pretty good, Ski.
I was about to say, congratulations on your one fantasy football championship win against some loser. Had the game of the century with Derrick Henry, and then Matt Stafford just was like, hold my beer, I'm going to ruin it. But yeah, we did have a pretty exciting week last week. I won't talk about the week before just because there's no sense talking about stuff that we already talked about. But we did have last week, the Cowboys beat the Commanders 30-23. Vikings beat the Lions 23-10. Broncos beat the Chiefs 20-13. Texans beat the Chargers 20-16. Ravens beat the Packers 41-24. Derrick Henry had like 4 touchdowns. If you started him in fantasy football, you should have won that game. If you had him and Matthew Stafford starting, yeah, Matthew Stafford cost you that game. Congratulations. The Browns beat the Steelers 13-6. Patriots beat the Jets 42-10. Saints beat the Titans 34-26. Jaguars beat the Colts 23-17. Dolphins beat the Buccaneers 20-17. Seahawks beat the Panthers 27-10. Bengals beat the Cardinals 37-14. Giants beat the Raiders 34-10. Eagles beat the Bills 13-12. 49ers beat the Bears 42-38. In like the first game in forever that it was tied 0-0, 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, 35-35. And then they messed it up. Bears messed up by kicking a field goal. What could have been had they have scored a touchdown. And then the Falcons beat the Rams 27-24, almost blowing their second 21-point lead in a big game in like 10 years. Which, I mean, it's happened 2 times, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot. But the fact that it's happened 2 times is kind of weird. For the week, I finished at 10-6. Tato finished at 9-7, bringing overall records of 152 and 104 for me, with Tato 164 and 92. So Tato, you do have a 12-game advantage on me. But any thoughts you want to share about the previous week?
Yeah, man, that Bears game was pretty fucking awesome. It sucks to be on the losing end of it, but I mean, most of the media is seemingly giving the Bears more props than they have all season long coming off of the loss, which is interesting. I mean, I guess just being in prime time and being right there with a very good 49ers team. Yeah, finally getting a little bit of respect around here. Tell you. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, pretty good football. Some more good football games after the absolute insanity that was last week's football games. I mean, what's to be said about that? Yeah. Like I said, I've just been having a lot of fun this season. There's been a lot of good football and a lot of things going my way as a fan. And, yeah.
I just want to say, I think it's incredible that your team can lose and the media is very positive on them. My team wins and the media is like, this team sucks. Like, what? I don't know what's going on. The Bills just lost that game. That's not what happened. It's incredible. Yeah. There have been 5 games this year where a team has had less than 5 passing yards in the second half. Fun fact, 5. 3 of them belong to the Eagles. And of those 3 games that the Eagles have had less than 5 passing yards in the second half, guess what? They've won all 3. That defense is just crazy. And I will defend our offense just a little bit. That weather was horrendous. I was very surprised that we started that game with as much of an air attack as we did. Had I have been the offensive coordinator, I would just said, hey, let's run the ball, quick slant passes, definitely no deep threats. And the fact that that's basically how they started the game was just deep threats is wild to me. But we can talk about our previous weeks, previous games, but we look forward to what's coming ahead of us. The final game or the final week of the NFL regular season. We have playoffs coming up. Playoffs are basically set. There are 2 spots still open. And then there are seeding that need to happen. So for right now in the AFC, teams that have clinched, we have the Patriots and the Broncos both clinching divisions. Yeah, both clinching divisions. Jaguars and Houston have both clinched a playoff spot. That division is still up in the air, though. And then Buffalo and the Chargers. I love how I say the first team where they're the city, and then the second team is the mascot. I don't know why I'm doing it that way, but it's just how I do it. But both the Bills and the Chargers have clinched a wild card spot. The only spot we have left is the AFC North division as Pittsburgh plays Baltimore Sunday night. Winner wins the division and clinches that last spot. Again, the only other thing is seeding that is not quite set. And then in the NFC, we have clinching the division is the Bears and the Eagles, both division champs. Clinching a wild card spot, we have the Packers and the Rams. The NFC West is still up for grabs. Seattle and San Francisco, they play Saturday. Winner wins the division, likely wins the number 1 seed. And then we do also have the NFC South. Not necessarily a head-to-head matchup because the Falcons can play spoilers. If the Buccaneers win and the Falcons win, the Panthers win the division. But no, Carolina and Tampa Bay do play on Saturday too, with major implications as far as that. We do have one Texans fan in the crowd, TC77590. That's a scary defense. Not going to lie. If I was playing the Texans, I'd be a little scared because that defense is scary. Offense, not really. But we do have some clinching scenarios. I just got to find that screen that I was on. Oh, come on. I just had one open not that long ago, and then it closed out on me. There we go. All right. So, week 18, clinching scenarios. In the AFC, the Denver Broncos are most likely to have the number 1 overall seed. They played the Chargers on Sunday. If they win, they are the number 1 seed. They get that first round bye. But if they lose and both New England and Jacksonville lose, they also get the first round bye and the number 1 seed. Yep. Houston and Jacksonville, again, they play Sunday. Winner wins the division. Houston, that is all that they have at stake is the division. Jacksonville, however, they can not only win the division, they can also get the number 1 overall seed. If they win and then Denver and New England both lose, they will be the number 1 overall seed. But yeah, win or if I'm stupid. Jacksonville plays Tennessee. Houston plays Indianapolis. Silly Jacob. Jacksonville wins the division if they win, or if they lose and Houston loses. They win the division. Houston, if they win and Jacksonville loses against Tennessee. I screwed up there. That's on me. The Patriots, again, they have clinched the division, but they can get the number 1 overall seed with a win and a Denver loss. And then again, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they play each other for the final week. Winner wins the division. And then in the AFC, you do have Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Carolina, if they win, they're in. Or if Atlanta wins, due to crazy tiebreakers, they win the division as well. Tampa Bay has to win, and Atlanta has to lose. For the 49ers, they can clinch the NFC West and the number 1 overall seed with a win. Again, same with the Seahawks. They win. They win or they tie. They get the NFC West and the number 1 overall seed. Other seeding that's up is the number 2 seed. Bears and Eagles. Bears win, they get the number 2 seed. Eagles win and Bears lose. Eagles get the number 2 seed. And then Bears get the 3. So again, a lot of crazy implications coming up. A lot of exciting matchups, and then some not as exciting matchups, which we'll talk about here in just a sec. One cool thing that I like is week 18 is always rematch week. All these teams have played each other. We have some teams, they haven't played each other since week 1. We have some teams, they played each other in week 16. half the games did happen first half of the season, and half the games happened in the second half of the season. Kind of a cool, interesting breakdown. Potato, are you ready to make some predictions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, then let's get into it. Saturday, January 3rd at 4:30 p.m., the Panthers travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a 2.5-point favorite. But again, Buccaneers need to win, and they need Atlanta to lose on Sunday. Panthers just need a win, and they're in. I will go first on this one. I think it's crazy. If you look at the start of the season, like about week 6, week 7, we thought this division was locked down. We thought Tampa Bay was going to run away with it. We thought Baker Mayfield was going to be the MVP candidate. In the last 8 weeks, Tampa Bay has gone 1-7. Then you look at the Panthers. They looked horrible this year for most of the year. Every week I said, man, this is my pick to win the South. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're still kind of my pick to win the South. Well, I said it in week 1. I'm going to say it in week 18. I think the Panthers pull off the win. They've constantly gone win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. Well, guess what? They lost last week, which means they're due for a win this week. Give me the Panthers. Tato, who's your pick?
Give me the Bucks. I don't care how it happens. Show me 8-9 in the playoffs. I don't care how the Falcons push it.
Yeah.
As long as both of those teams are 8-9 coming out of that game, I'm happy.
All right. Next, we have, again, number 1 overall seed, NFC West, up for grabs as the Seahawks travel to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. I also studied like when these teams played last. I was going to bring that up for every game. I forgot to bring it up for the last game. The Panthers-Buccaneers last played in Week 16, where the Panthers won 23-20. Fun fact. With the Seahawks and 49ers, these two teams played in Week 1, back when the 49ers were healthy, and the 49ers won 17-13. But again, Seahawks on the road, 1.5-point favorite, though. Tato, who's your pick here?
This is a tight booty game.
So tight.
I mean, obviously, it's for the first place, deservedly so. Both these teams are excellent. I don't know what to say. Darnold is still not a pumpkin. What? I may have made a mistake on that one. Let's go. Right. Bitch pigeon.
Going with the Seahawks. Yeah, no, I think it's incredible. Sam Darnold, amazing season last season, gets to the final week. His team wins. They're number 1. They win the division. They get the first week bye. They lose. They're the number 5 seed and play a barely above 500 or maybe below 500 team. Wait, that wasn't last year. That's this year. Wait, it's the same year? This is incredible. Yep. Different team, same scenario. And I'm going to add one more caveat to this. Not only is Sam Darnold having the same season, the team he's going up against has been so riddled with injuries. It's crazy to believe that they still can form a 53-man roster because the 49ers can't keep anyone healthy, adding even more to the similarities of last season to this season. But regardless of similarities, this game's going to be tight. I've gone back and forth consistently all day, but something's just telling me Sam Darnold was not able to get it done last year. He redeems himself and gets it done this year. Give me the Seahawks. As we move on to our Sunday games, our first one, the Colts are traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Again, Texans need a win and Jaguars to lose to win the division. But again, regardless of what happens, they are in the playoffs. They did make the dance. And then Indianapolis At one point this team was 8-1. They were number one basically in the nation, and oh how they have fallen. Riley Leonard is starting for the Colts this week. Phillip Rivers has been benched ever since the final play of the game. They are going with rookie from Notre Dame, Riley Leonard. But regardless, fun fact, last time these two teams played each other was week 13, kind of the start of the Colts downfall. Texans won 20-16. And hey, history's going to repeat itself. I have the Texans getting the win here. Tato, who's your pick?
Yeah, welcome to the NFL, kid. Good fucking luck. I'll take the Texans. Apologies for the language.
Yeah, we thought it was elder abuse when Phillip Rivers went against the number one defense of the Seahawks. Well, now it's child abuse as Riley Leonard goes against the real number one defense in the Houston Texans. Next, we have the Cowboys traveling to New Jersey to take on the Giants. This game does not matter one bit. Giants, with a loss, they still have a really good draft pick. Not number one, though. Dallas just has a very middle-of-the-road draft pick, regardless of what happens. Cowboys are a 3.5-point favorites, and this is a rematch from week 2. That crazy game when Russell Wilson looked like a competent quarterback, threw for over 400 yards, but the Cowboys won 40-37 in overtime. I'm going to go first on this one. Cowboys in the news as they did cut Trevon Diggs, their star cornerback. Led the league in interceptions not that long ago. Really hasn't done much for the team this year. But they did waive him earlier today. We'll talk about him here in just a second because he was not a free agent for that long. But no, I'm going to go first on this one. Everyone should play. Nobody's getting sat for any reason. But still, give me the Giants because I just want the Giants to win. Tato, who's your pick?
I will take Dallas. One more game from Dak Prescott in a fantasy week that should not be a fantasy week. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that sentiment. But hey, ESPN is ESPN.
It's a classic Papa. I just figured it was classic Papa shenanigans.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe I could have changed it. I chose not to. I'll take full blame on that. Next, we have the Browns traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Bengals are a 7.5-point favorite. Also, Myles Garrett is half a sack away from tying the record, one full sack away from beating the record. He was held sackless against the Steelers. So we'll see how well that Cincinnati Bengal offensive line can protect Joe Burrow. This is a rematch from week 1 where the Bengals won in a very tight game, 17-16. Tato, I will have you go first here. Who is your pick?
Man, Joe Flacco was on the other team in that game. I am going to take Cincy here. I think they're just trying to get a spark going into next season. I don't think obviously they're not going anywhere this season, but they're still not a beaten, broken team and whatnot. So they'll try to put in the effort there. Browns, not too bad. I do think Myles will get that record. I also do not begrudge the Steelers for trying to stop Myles from sacking the quarterback. That's a good way to win games, is to stop Myles from doing Myles things. So maybe that's what they did, but it's also not a terribly losing strategy. It just did not go. But yeah, Bengals here.
Yeah, no, crazy. Keep your quarterback off the ground. Crazy strategy. I will say that one sack that the Browns did get, I got really excited, and then I realized it was not Myles Garrett, and he was nowhere near him. But no, Myles did get 2 sacks in week 1 against the Bengals. So yeah, he just has to get half that. I think he gets 3. But that is a bold prediction of the game that has not hurt me any point this season at all. But regardless, I do still think the Bengals get the win. Um, Joe Burrow, since he's been back from injury, has looked phenomenal, except for one game, which ended up taking them out of the playoff race. That defense has actually looked somewhat decent, which we never expected. And Shador has looked really bad. I think it's crazy that that game was so close in Pittsburgh. But yeah, no, I have the Browns, or I have the Bengals getting the win also. Next, we have, in my opinion, a fun game. Should be a fun game as the Saints travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are a 3-point favorite, and this is a rematch from Week 12, where the Falcons won 24-10. I will go first on this one. One of these teams is very inconsistent. Sometimes they look great, sometimes they look bad. And the other team, like the last 4 weeks, they have looked like the team that should win the NFC South. That being the Saints. The Saints have looked really good the last 4 weeks. Had they have played like 3 more games with this intensity, they could very much be in spot for the division. But unfortunately, they waited a little bit longer to get some heat. I'd love to say Atlanta gets the win just to keep Tampa Bay out. But I really like the Saints team, and I'm going with the Saints. Tato, who's your pick?
Yeah, I think every fan in the NFC South thinks they have the best team in the NFC South, and it's hard to prove any of them wrong for whatever reason. I'm going to stick with the Falcons on this one. I mean, Bijan got me there. The Taysom Hill experiment did not go my way. I just wanted one more ride with the old guy, as I was one of the people who's been playing long enough to have started a tight quarterback at tight end and just reaped the benefits of that. It didn't go one last time, but hey, I'm still ahead in that 2-week matchup. We'll see. But I'll take Atlanta.
Fun fact, I almost picked up Taysom Hill in our league to hope that would have done something. But I'm like, no, I'm decent at tight end. I just need a receiver. Also fun.
Sorry, as a side note, did you have Godwin on your radar at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You had him on your bench, so.
I grabbed him because he was like the one guy I did not want you to get with the whole DK situation. So.
By the time I looked, he wasn't available. The number one available wide receiver was Alec Pierce, who I picked up, thinking, hey, this is Phillip Rivers' number one target in the past couple weeks. He's gonna get some targets. Yeah, he got like 4 targets. Didn't catch any of them, but he got some targets. And then going back to what you were saying, every team, every fan thinks their team is the best team in the NFC South, but they're all wrong. There is no good best team in the NFC South. They're all at the exact same level. Next, we have the Packers traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Vikings are a 7-point favorite. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, Papa, that's crazy that the Vikings are a 7-point favorite, even though the Packers have a playoff spot. Well, the Packers are resting most of their starters. I don't think they've said everybody, but they have said that they are resting key starters. They are also questioning on if they are playing Malik Willis at quarterback. Whereas the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy might be your starting quarterback, or it could be Bosmer. But regardless of who it is, yep, you heard that right. The Vikings are a 7-point favorite. This is a rematch from Week 12, in which the Packers won 23-6. So, Tato, I will have you start us off here. Who is your pick?
All right, give me the Vikings because it's going to be hilarious when the NFC North completely flips the table from last year.
All right, and it's my turn. Give me the Vikings. I think it's going to be hilarious when the whole division just flips from last year. Not my reasoning, but I did write down the Vikings, kind of for some meme reasons. Yeah, I think it'd be hysterical. Next, we have the Titans are traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jaguars are a 12.5-point favorites, and this is a rematch from Week 13 when the Jags won 25-3. I like how the Titans played against the Saints last week, but they still are playing just like their quarterback described them. Jacksonville has way too much to play for to look past this game, and I think they have schemed every which way to blow the roof off the Titans, and Jags get the win. Tato, who's your pick?
Yeah, I'll agree there. Say it with me. Duval. I'm going to be so pissed if that guy gets the 1 seed.
Yeah, that also, I think it's hysterical. Liam Cohen has not even finished his first year as the Jaguars head coach. He is number 5 on all-time wins as a Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. Not even a full season. He's 5th all-time wins. That's just incredible. Next, we have first of our 425 games, the Cardinals traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Rams are a 7.5-point favorite. And this is a rematch from Week 14 when the Rams won 45-17. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Papa, if they won by so much, why are they only a 7-point favorite? Well, it's because Vegas doesn't like making teams 20-plus point favorites because it hardly ever happens. But also the Rams are one of those teams that we're not sure who's playing, if they are resting starters or not. Sean McVay has still said it, everything's still up in the air. But really, if you look at it, this team has nothing to play for. So there's speculations that the Rams do sit most of their starters. But Tato, tell us, who wins?
I will take whatever assortment of Rams show up. We'll go with that. And maybe it's just because I did pick up Harrison Mevis at kicker. No matter what, he'll be kicking the ball. So
yeah. There are a couple of sureties in life: death, taxes, and the Cardinals finishing 4th in the NFC West. I don't care if it's Matt Stafford. I don't care if it's Jimmy gets grabbed below. Rams get the win pretty handily. Next game, we have the Chargers traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos are a 12.5-point favorite. And again, you might be saying to yourself, Papa, that's incredible. Why are the Broncos a 12.5-point favorite? Well, it's simple. The Chargers have come out and said that they are planning to rest most of their key starters. This is a rematch from Week 3 when the Chargers won 23-20. I will go first on this one. I was ready to say Chargers with the upset, and then I found out that they're resting Herbert. He is definitely somebody that they are resting. And then it said other key starters to sit as well. And I'm like, man, I can't go Chargers. There's no way Trey Lance, of all players, gets the Chargers the win here. So I'm going to go with the Broncos. Tato, who's your pick?
Yeah, as much as I want to believe in a North Dakota brother, I don't think it's going to go that way. I will take the Broncos on this one. Had to drop Omar Hampton and Ladd McConkey from fantasy.
All right. Next, we have the Commanders traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles are a 4.5-point favorite. This is also a rematch from Week 16 when the Eagles won 29-18. Now I'm going to break the cycle because obviously you go first when it's your team playing. Most of the time, sometimes I screw over Jeremy Potter's. Sometimes I'm just not thinking. But yeah, I will go first on this one. Again, it is looking like Josh Johnson's going to be starting quarterback for the Commanders. And Dan Quinn did say at the end of that game, we'll see him in 2 weeks. Make him paraphrasing here, but pretty much said he's going to make us regret going for 2. No, we don't regret nothing. I don't care if it's starters or bench. Bench Tanner McKee is a great quarterback. I'll still say number 1 backup quarterback in the NFL right now. Tank Bigsby is phenomenal. I also really like our second string wide receivers. Cooper's great. Jahan Dotson's probably going to get some good good snaps in there too. And the amount of depth we have on defense, I think, is incredible also. So high scoring game, not really. Eagles get the win. Tato, your thoughts?
Yeah. My journey favorite, Josh Johnson. Love that guy. I will take the Eagles here. I agree with the things you said.
All right. Next, we have the Chiefs traveling to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite. Raiders are still playing for the number 1 overall pick. They basically have it locked down. And this is a rematch from week 7 when the Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-0. Tato, start us off. Who gets your pick here?
I'm going to take the Raiders on this one. Why not? It's the Raiders. They got to find a way to ruin something, right?
You're not wrong. I kind of was thinking like this would be the perfect ending to the Chiefs' horrible season, getting beat by the 2-14 Raiders.
That's good too.
But I don't think they lose. I think the Chiefs are able to muster at least the smallest form of something. Is this Travis Kelce's last game? Is it not? I seriously doubt he's going to if it is his last game, let them just have a horrible outing against the Raiders of all teams. I think the Chiefs get the win here. And then it's also a little bit closer to the downfall that I predicted when I thought that they would lose last year. Not quite there, but really close. Next, we have the Dolphins traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Patriots are a 10.5-point favorite, and this is a rematch from week 2 when the Patriots won 33-27. Patriots are still playing for a lot, trying to get that pick, get the playoffs to go through Foxborough, which it's felt like so long since that's happened. It's felt like it's been forever since the Patriots have been a dynasty and number 1 in the league. Like, how many NFL fans are there that have never known that thought? I don't know. Not enough. Come on, Patriots. You're supposed to suck for longer. Regardless, Drake May versus Quinn Ewers. I love it if Quinn Ewers pulled it off. I love how he got the win against the Buccaneers. My Heisman pick for like 2 years, Quinn Ewers. But no, Patriots get the win. Tato, who's your pick?
Yep. Finding that Drake May guy off the bench or off the waiver wire was pretty dope. You can always do that with quarterbacks, by the way. Doesn't necessarily end up being the number 1 quarterback always, but yeah, there's usually some top 5 guy that just does not get drafted for some reason.
Yeah, Drake May, possible MVP candidate. Next, we have the Lions traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears are a 3-point favorites, and this is a rematch from week 2 where the Lions won 52-21, laying that 50 burger on you when we thought the Bears were just they didn't have it this year. Tato, who's your pick here?
I got to go the Bears. We got to get the revenge game. Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson wants it. Caleb 4K is on the table. Seeding potentially matters. We definitely want to play those games in Soldier Field, potentially not have to go on the road to the Super Bowl and then go back and win and get the win back in Santa Clara that we left on the table there. Just split the NFC North completely, go get the win back in Santa Clara. It's the path.
Yeah. I mean, when your options are playing the Green Bay Packers in a playoff spot at home or playing anybody in the NFC West at home, it's crazy. You kind of got to pick the Packers, right? I'm going to echo you mostly. I think the Bears do get the win. They have had this game circled since week 4. They got embarrassed in week 3, and they're like, hey, we're going to go prove something. Not only are we going to embarrass the Lions, make them finish last in the division, we're going to get our revenge, and we're going to be the number 2 seed. And I hate to say it because I wish the Eagles could be the number 2 seed, but we'll take the 3. I'm going with the Bears as well.
I'll give you a bold prediction as well. Theo Benedette touchdown.
All right. And then also you had made the comment about Caleb Williams getting to the 4,000 mark, something that has not happened in Bears history. He's 270 yards away. So it's very likely it happens. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say he does not get it. Next, we have our final 425 game. The Jets travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills are a 7-point favorite, and this is a week 2 rematch when the Bills won 30-10. The Bills are another team that has confirmed they are going to sit a significant amount of their starters and key players. So look for Mitch Trubisky to make his first start of the season, as he has done plenty of times in the final week against the Jets. I'll go first on this one. I think it'd be incredible if the Jets somehow managed to get their first interception of the season on the final play. I think it'd be even better if Josh Allen was playing. Intercept the guy who does not turn the ball over. But I think this is going to be one of those crazy years where we see an NFL team get 0 interceptions all season. I don't care if it's starter, second string, or just random guys that they find in the stands. Buffalo gets the win and beat the Jets. Tato, who's your thought?
Yeah, if you had more Snoop Dogg kickoff returns than Jets interceptions, congratulations. You probably paid off big. I will go with Buffalo. And I don't think Trubisky throws the pick. Unless it spikes off a receiver's hands or something.
Imagine he has a Nathan Peterman game and throws like 6 or 7 interceptions. Yeah. And then it's like Jets end up being like 30th in interceptions. 0 all year. Got 12 of them in one game. And then we have the Sunday night game. The game nobody is talking about. Everybody's talking about. The 2 most tenured coaches in the NFL right now. Winner wins the division, goes on to lose the first round of their playoffs, more than likely. But they get to host a playoff game, and that's all that matters. Ravens, Steelers. This is a Week 14 rematch when Pittsburgh won 27-22. Ravens are a 3.5-point favorite. Tato, who's your pick?
This is another tight game for obvious reasons. It's a playoff game.
Well, before you pick, though, I do want to say TJ Watts is still questionable. Lamar Jackson is also questionable. So two key starters might not play. Now give me your pick.
Very questionable. Maybe Baltimore.
Going with the Ravens. Well, we had the
I
issue.
saw what Derrick Henry did.
Yeah, we had the issue with DK Metcalf doing whatever he decided to do, punching a fan. Horrible. How could you? Being suspended 2 games. Probably cost me my championship against that guy. Thanks for that, DK. I had to play Alec Pierce because of you. Also, Matt Stafford. How? But no. All this aside, DK Metcalf not only cost me my fantasy football championship, I think he costs the Pittsburgh Steelers the division and a playoff spot. I have the Ravens. Plain and simple, I've seen what Derrick Henry can do. I don't care who's at quarterback. The Steelers struggle against good run games. And the biggest issue that the Ravens have is that defense, specifically in that secondary. And right now, the Steelers don't have a good receiver to exploit that secondary. So because of that, I think the Ravens get the win. Ravens get the playoff spot. And ladies and gentlemen, those have been our picks. We will reveal the winner of our celebrity guest picker next week, as we might do an early show, at least for a celebration of the week. I haven't decided if we'll do an actual playoff review in that one or do a playoff review later on in the week. But we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Could be Thursday, possibly Friday. But for everyone, that for Tato, for me, thank you so much for watching. Have a safe New Year's Eve and a fun New Year's Day. Make smart choices and because I do care. Because while I'm not your dad, I am your papa. Bye.